Hi, thanks for coming back. I wanted to give you another little mini episode. It's not going to be the same format as the other day, but I wanted to talk a little bit about two at a time toe up socks and my journey getting there to learn how to make them and why I love them so much. When I started knitting back in October, it took me about a week and a half solid knitting because I didn't have a job, so that's all I was doing after I took the kids to school, come home and knit. It took me about a week and a half to make my first scarf, and I showed that to you the other day. After that, I made two littler Harry Potter scarves for my friends' sons, they're about 1.5 years old. And then after that, I decided I could make a poncho because I could move up. Poncho seemed a little bit more difficult than scarf, but not too far out of my reach. So I started doing that, and this was, I can remember working on my poncho. Well, I went to I printed off a free pattern that said beginner, and then I took it to my local knit shop, Knitting Bliss, I think this is Bliss Yarns in Brentwood, and told her I had already gone there once when I was working on my first scarf because I got messed up, and they helped me, figured it out, and then I showed them what pattern I wanted, asked them what yarns I needed. They pointed me in the right direction, and I was off and running. And after I got working on my poncho, I realized I want to work on more than just this one poncho. I need more things to keep me busy. I need something that I have to concentrate on, but then also something that's not quite as difficult. And that's when I started making scarves for all of the teachers at school, for my kids' school. I decided I could do that. I could make one for the principal. There are 3 ladies that work in the office, 2 teachers. I could make 6 scarves by Christmas. This is Thanksgiving. And so I got started. I did the basket weave scarf because I thought that looked like it was more difficult than it really was. And so even when I first started knitting, I had several projects going, but I'm always looking for the next thing to learn. What else is out there that I don't know how to do already? Because I want to become a superstar knitter. I want to know everything, and I want it to be second nature, really easy for me. So I was looking, this is before I found Ravelry, so I didn't know how to look up patterns on there, but I was looking for different stitches to make scarves, and I saw the Introlac scarf. I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. And I decided that's what I wanted to make. And then a little bit more research and a little looking at some videos, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that. So then I decided I could make socks. Josh said that I couldn't make socks yet, I wasn't ready, that I should make a sweater. I'm scared of a sweater because I'm afraid that my gauge will be off, I'm afraid that something will mess up, that's a lot of yarn to buy, and for it to not look right. And so I was like, no, socks are little. I had done a little bit of research on the internet, and I saw that there were the DPNs, which looked scary, but I thought it looked impressive, so if I could figure that out, that would be cool. And then I also saw Magic Loop, which seemed to be like an innovation. Like, I'm like, oh, 2 socks at the same time on one needle, that looks amazing. I'm all about the wow factor. Like, wow, someone walks in and sees that I'm making 2 socks at the same time, that looks pretty impressive. So we went to another local yarn shop, and I took Josh with me because I told him I would make the scarf that I told him to pick out some yarn, the one that's still in this bag because he hasn't hung up my pictures yet. But he picked out the yarn, and then there's a whole room in the neighborhood knit shop in Hendersonville. There's a whole room, and it's got all kinds of sock yarn. So I went and I picked up some sock yarn and went up to the front to pay, and she said, can I help you with anything? I said, I'm going to learn how to make a sock, so I need whatever I need. Here's my yarn. I need whatever needles. I don't have a pattern or anything. Just tell me what I need. And she walked me back to the yarn room, to the sock yarn room, because she said that I picked one that was going to split easily and was a little too small for a first-time sock knitter. So then she gave me another selection, and I picked out that sock, went up front, and she got me she asked me if I wanted to take a class. I said, oh no, I can figure this out on my own. But could you just, should I get DPNs or should I get Magic Loop? And she said, oh, you have to get Magic Loop. So she gave me the needle. I came home, and I just started looking over the internet, cast it on a couple times. At this point, I'm thinking, well, I'm just going to make one at a time. Eventually, I'll get the two at a time, but even with just one at a time, I couldn't figure out what I was doing. There were quite a few directions written out saying how to do it. I could find some patterns, but I couldn't understand what the pattern said. I couldn't figure out from the directions what I was doing. And then I found knitfreedom.com, and it's got amazing videos and video ebooks with the pattern, and then she'll give you the pattern, and then partway down in the pattern there'll be a little video clip showing you how to do that step of the pattern. Whoa. It changed my life. I was like, holy cow, this is so easy. I can do this. This is no problem. The pattern was free. The toe up, 2 at a time toe up socks pattern was free, which I was only doing 1 at a time. And then I just went on YouTube and looked at, I didn't get the pattern that had the videos embedded because I didn't have any money, unemployed, and so I just went on YouTube, and anything that I was kind of confused for, I found Liat's video, and she helped me through it. So the first socks I made were supposed to be for me. They were brown. They ended up being for Josh, and they ended up being way too big for him even, but I understand the process. She told me what each step was for and how to get through it. When I got to, I was probably about to this part of my sock, and I realized that the purling, or is that, yeah, the purling side was showing up, like from about here down was knitted stitches, and then from there up were purled stitches, and I was really confused. I didn't understand what I had done, and I was like, well, it's no big deal. I'm just making this, trying to figure out what I'm doing, so I don't care if it looks backwards or inside out. Maybe I'll just turn it inside out when I put it on, but really I guess I should figure out what happened so I don't do it again. So I decided to email Liat and ask her, like, can you just tell me what I did wrong, because I don't understand. And the next night I went on her blog, and she had written a whole blog entry dedicated to me. It had my name in it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm famous. And she showed me a video, and what I had done was, instead of using the back needle and pulling it out front and knitting, I had set it down, and then I had picked it up backwards and started pulling the front needle, and I was knitting in the back with my front needle. So I had just turned it inside out. But she did a blog post about how people sometimes put it inside out accidentally, and then all you have to do is push it this way, which that's not what I did, but it helped me so that now I don't ever do that. So that was my journey with my first sock, and like I said, I had a hard time making it the right size, which I think it was because, I haven't really analyzed it since then, but I think it was because when you're making your toe increases, you're supposed to make an increase and then knit even and then increase, then knit even. I think I did way more way more knit evens than I needed to, so I think it was a lot longer that way. But from looking at Liat's website, knitfreedom.com, I noticed that she has lots of free patterns. She says that she wants to help us become knitting superstars, which I'm like, whoa, I can do it. I can be a knitting superstar. And so she gives you the basics of knitting, but then she also moves past that and gives you more detail of how to do it. Like she has a video about how to cable, and so she gives you the more difficult steps, but she talks to you like you are kind of new, so you still figure out what she's saying. She doesn't throw around words like hank, like I said the other day, where you're like, what is she talking about? She explains it all to you, which I really, really appreciate. So, like I said, I always am looking for the new thing that I want to learn, and I decided, I don't remember how long ago this was, maybe a month and a half ago, I decided that I was going to learn how to do continental knitting, because it sounds cool. I think that there's a wow factor if you can do continental knitting. You can knit faster, which I have so many things I want to get done that I would love to be able to knit faster. And the main thing that sold me was that Liat, in her little ebook, said that she could teach me how to knit in the dark. And I would love to be able to knit in the dark while we're watching movies, or in the car, or I don't know, I might just sit in a room and turn the lights off and knit because it's cool. So I did actually purchase her Continental ebook, which is amazing. It gives you step-by-step instructions. You can pause it. She gives you little exercises. And I go back and I redo it. Like I'll practice my continental knitting and then put it down for a couple days and then go back and I won't remember it, so that I can just pull up the video again and look at it. And I'm not a continental knitter yet, but it's not because of Liat, it's because of me, because I want to get my other projects done so I don't take the time to knit continental. But I'll get there. I just have to make myself do it. Also on her website, she has a button at the bottom that says chat with me, and she offers you to Skype with her, so if you have a problem anytime, as long as she's there, which she said, I've never tried it, but she says she's there really late at night because she tries to be there when the local yarn shops are closed. But she'll Skype with you and you can show her what you did and she can explain to you how to fix it, which is amazing. And the first couple minutes, I don't know prices or anything because like I said, I don't pay attention to details, but I know that part of it is free. So I think maybe 2 or 3 minutes is free, and then after that, it's not very expensive. It's very well worth it, and if I ever need it and have the money at the time, I'll more than likely just Skype her in because I think that's amazing. But anyway, I wanted to tell y'all about Monday. She's bringing out a brand new ebook. The Continental ebook and the Toe Up Sock ebook, those are chapters in her big book that she's bringing out, presenting to us on Monday, February 7th. It's called Becoming a Knitting Superstar. And it's got, I wrote down some of the sections. It says how to read a knitting pattern, which I think I could figure out how to read a knitting pattern, but then underneath it, it also said something about analyzing the pattern, which I love. I love that Liat goes through different explanations for each little step. She tells you why something is the way it is so that you can understand it and you can apply it to something else. Perfect teacher. Coming from a teacher, being taught how and why is more important than just the process. Another chapter is Magic Loop, the toe-up socks, also 2 at a time top-down socks. She has a video about how to cast on 2 at a time anything, and I used that last week because I made some fingerless gloves. And I'm also looking forward to a chapter called 10 Techniques That Make Any Project Amazing, because you know I like the wow factor. The book is going to be $77, and it's going to have videos embedded in the book. It's PDF. that is amazing value, thinking about what I can take away from that book for $77 is amazing. But this is like one of those commercials on TV. But wait, there's more. If you subscribe to her newsletter before Monday, she'll give you 25% off of your ebook if you buy it. I think it's if you buy it next week, Monday through Thursday. She'll give you 25% off, bringing it down to $57. And if you've already bought one of her other ebooks that is included in the big ebook, she'll take the price of that off of it. So I bought that Continental ebook, and it'll be, I think it was like $10 or $12, and she'll take the $10 or $12 off of the $57, bringing it down, I don't know exactly, $40, $45. I don't know the prices exactly, so I can't tell you exactly how much it'll be, but it'll be cheaper, and I like cheaper. I like clearance. I don't pay full price for anything. So, and then on top of that, she's going to come out with an iPhone or iPad app, and if you buy it, her ebook during next week, Monday through Thursday, you get that app for free. So it's an amazing value, and I wanted to let you know about it now, so that if you want to go sign up for her newsletter, it's like getting your discount. And plus, she sends out a video each week, a helpful video telling you something that you could learn that will help you become a superstar knitter. So it's excellent. The newsletter is free. And also, if you wanted to try it out and see, like if you're a new knitter, there's chapters, or there's patterns you could, not patterns, there's ebooks you could buy. Or if you want to learn Magic Loop, if you want to do that this weekend and test it out, see if you want to buy the whole book, that price comes off of the total price. So I just didn't want to wait until after the weekend to let you know about how amazing the deal is. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to buy the book. I want to support Liat, and I want the book, but I might have to wait. I don't know, because it's a really good deal. I want to get it by Thursday. We'll see. Maybe I can sneak some money from somewhere. I don't know. But if I were you, I would get the book, because it's amazing. Just a couple of other things that I've learned from her. I wanted to show you. I've already pulled these up. These were those mystery socks. I don't know if you can see the detail. I'm on clue number 2 of my mystery socks, and I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna knit a couple rows before I start my video. I just want to do just a couple rows. I was so excited that the back is supposed to be all stockinette, and I did the front pattern on it, but I'm just gonna leave it. But when I was doing that, I was thinking about how many things that Liat has taught me. Liat, who is a household name, or her name is known in my household. Whenever I say something, Josh knows who Liat is. I'm sure Liat doesn't know who Mary is, but Josh knows who Liat is, and that's important. But the things that Liat has taught me, just that I apply to all of my knitting, she taught me how to unknit something, which if I knit it wrong before, what I would do is use my finger and take the stitch off the loop, off the needle, and then pull and hope that I didn't pull out too many stitches for me to not be able to put it back on the needle. And so then Liat showed me that all you have to do is stick your needle underneath the loop and pull it off. That's so much easier. And she taught me how to knit through the back loop, which I knew how to knit through the back loop, but I didn't understand why. And it's if you have a twisted stitch, it untwists it by knitting it through the back loop. When I saw a twisted stitch before, I would, again, use my finger, pull the stitch off the needle, turn it around, and put it back on. So much easier just to knit through the back loop. And then one of my favorite things that she's taught me is how to count how many stitches you have, because when you're increasing for the toes, you're supposed to increase until you have a certain number of stitches on your needle. She says to count by 5, so I just cover up, and your brain can see in groups of 5, and it can remember in groups of 5. So rather than counting by 2s or 3s or 1s, count by 5s and you go a lot faster. And that's one of my favorite things that Liat has taught me. So I recommend going to knitfreedom.com, signing up for her newsletter, and waiting patiently like the rest of us for Monday to come so that we can see the launch of her new video ebook. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you all later. Bye.